vote with his perspective. Arvind Sanger is with us, managing partner at Geosphere Capital. Arvind, great to have you with us here. Thank you very much for your time. I don't know if you saw the move yesterday in India, Arvind, just sort of mind-boggling. I suspect after the move yesterday, once again, the debate about what some of these sort of foreign large algo firms, etc., are doing here in the Indian market and what should be done, etc., will resurface in a big way. We had a 400-point move in 90 minutes. Just your thoughts, and if you saw yesterday's session, and where do we go from here?
Well, look, the market is working not on foreign algos or foreign money flows, it's working on domestic liquidity flows. Let's be clear what's driving the market. I'm not talking about day-to-day R2R, but I'm talking structurally. So, we can just, sit back and watch with some awe and wonder, because the market is, clearly in pretty close to uncharted territory. You're seeing some pretty marginal IPOs coming, and then some good quality IPOs, but some marginal IPOs coming hugely oversubscribed. So this is, I would say, the mother of all bull markets. And, while the party is going, I guess everybody's having fun. But keep in mind that no party lasts forever. But for now, I don't see any flaw as long as the world is throwing liquidity back into the economies with ECB cutting rates and now Fed poised to cut rates. And assuming we don't have any global economic accidents, India seems to be right now in a sweet spot.
Arvind, a lot on the street are also of the belief that maybe all of this is pricing in a Fed cut already. And once the Fed does go ahead and cut the rates, maybe that could indicate a near-term top. Are you in that camp?
Well, clearly, I think, the economies are slowing. Certainly in the US and in Europe, the economies are slow. China is clearly slow. And everything is now contingent on the liquidity coming from the Fed. I don't think the Fed has a magic wand to fix a slower economy. Maybe in 6 months it'll speed up the economy, but I don't disagree with the idea that markets have largely, you can never say fully, but have largely anticipated now that there's a Fed cut coming. So where can the positive surprises come from? The positive surprises can come from, there's some talk about China throwing more liquidity at the market, trying to accelerate mortgage reductions for homeowners in China, other measures to try to get the, what seems to be a downward spiral in the Chinese economy halted. So, other than that, if that turns and the Fed and ECB and others are throwing money and inflation remains under control, I think, markets may remain bid, but I don't know whether we can point to as strong a trajectory as India has, where liquidity certainly sees no signs of abatement.
Completely take that point, Arvind. Good morning. And I think a sign of that liquidity showed up in some of the recent IPOs. I want to go back to that point that you were making and look at what Bajaj Finance did, right? They asked for about 6,500 crores. The market is willing to give them over 3 lakh crores. I mean, that was the extent of the oversubscription. One understands pedigree and all of that and, a leadership position, etc. But still, it's just the numbers tell you the story here, right? So as this tidal wave of domestic liquidity continues to slosh around, what have you been doing? Have you participated in any of the new IPOs? And what's the advice? I mean, how to keep sane as this liquidity-driven party continues here?
Well, we are participating in the market appreciation with companies that we like. We have largely stayed away from the IPOs because, for the amount of money that you put up and for the allocations you get, and then the pop you get on the first day, it's a modest return, but, there are a lot of people who do that. We're not playing in that. So we're looking for opportunities where we can buy companies at reasonable valuations. And the reality is, if you get a little bit of the IPO on the IPO, it's reasonable, but it gets to unreasonable very quickly. So we're trying to be a little more value conscious, but in this market, value has long left the building, and all that's left is momentum. So it's one of those where we try to find wherever we can find elements of value. But this is a bull market which is the likes of which we have rarely seen. I think we'd have to go back to 2007 to find anything even comparable in terms of the amount of liquidity and euphoria. But we're trying to find a little bit of value in some sectors. But the reality is that IPOs is not the place where we've been playing, but there are quality companies that we're trying to play.
Got it. Absolutely. I'm just wondering, Prashant, he's talking about the sea of liquidity, and this is when the Fed hasn't even opened the tap. That's going to happen probably next week. And then I wonder what we'll be dealing with.
I mean, 18th, I think we'll get that